Please stand by for the John and Gordy Morning Show. Phone lines are open right now. Call or text 608-879-8255 or use the free Civic Media app. And now, live from the Civic Media headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, here are John and Gordy. We're truly sorry.
WFDX 92.7, John and Gordy.
Good morning.
Hey,
Happy
man.
Monday.
Something a little different, right?
Sure. It's 7 minutes past 6. Top of the morning to you. Rise and shine. Shake a leg. Up and at 'em. Let's go.
Well, I know
Partly cloudy.
you're feeling
What?
pretty good because you took care of the weeds in your yard.
I did. Yeah, I did a lot of gardening. Yeah, took care of things. You actually stopped by. you
I
know?
did. I was driving by on a census run that I had.
Yeah. You didn't intently, you weren't intending.
Intentionally. No, I wasn't intentionally going to stop by, but I saw you out there on the sidewalk, and wow. Well, it's not easy parking around your place. so it's not like the first thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to drop by Gordy's.
No, it's impossible to park anywhere near
That's
my
right.
place.
It's going to get worse because they're going to work on the road right outside your house.
They're going to tear up Highland Avenue
Beautiful.
for like 6 weeks. So I don't think I'll be able to get in or out of my garage. And there's an apartment building right next to that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen
30
to
or
them.
40 apartments in there. They can't. There's a garage under their apartment building.
I think they're locking them in. They're some kind of agreement with
it's
their
gonna
employers.
Be a fun summer. That happens in June and July. I think.
God.
Yeah. They gave us all notices. Give a heads up. Like, oh boy, great.
Well, you
nowhere
think
to
they
park.
might put Highland, on a bridge, and
Really?
and then you have these huge pillars outside your house.
I actually wouldn't mind that if there was
Yeah.
another way, if it was sort of 2 level and I could get in and out still.
you go,
and
see?
They're not going to do that.
It'd be crazy to do it in that neighborhood.
Anyway.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So here it is, Monday morning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let's check our weather. There's some dicey weather perhaps coming our way tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some storms, some maybe tornadic activity.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
Wow.
Yeah. Sam,
How about
good mo-
volcanic activity?
No volcanic.
All right.
Nothing
No?
near us anyway.
All right.
So it's John and Gordy and producer Sam.
Producer
Sam had
Sam,
a
yes,
big
that's right.
weekend. We'll get to that in a moment.
Really?
Yeah. Oh boy. And they're saying it's clear skies, maybe at the airport, but there's some clouds around here.
Yeah, it looks a little
downtown
hazy out
on
there.
State Street. It's currently 53 degrees. Let's check the afternoon high. Let's get the weather roulette wheel spin and see what's happening here. You ready for this?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always ready for this.
The afternoon high, black 77. 77 today.
That's outrageous.
It's
It
going to
really
be
is.
hot. It's going to be humid.
Yeah.
Let's check the WMDX Samsung watch.
Oh, yes.
See if that mentions the
High of
WMDX.
81.
Oh, okay. So there you go. It's
Yeah.
going to be very warm and humid and maybe some strong thunderstorms this evening and tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Keep a close eye on things. But, it could be pretty windy later on today.
Well, it's not good.
Well,
It's not good.
it's what we have. Just get ready for it.
You got no place else to go, Peterson.
Batten down the hatches. Producer Sam, did you have a good weekend?
I had a pretty good weekend, yeah.
No, you sound like you're a little. Your voice is a little
hoarse or
strained.
something.
Yeah. What's going on?
I'm surprised, like how bad my voice sounds this morning. On Saturday, I was at a training weekend for the summer camp that I'll be working at again, that I've worked at a few years in the past.
Yeah?
And I guess I overused my voice.
Yeah, I would.
You were yelling
Did a
at the
little too
kids.
much
Was
yelling.
that the deal?
Yeah.
I can't picture you doing that. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I know.
man.
It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
most of my normal life, like here and with friends and stuff in Madison is completely different from how I act around these crazy camp people.
That's a crazy thing. You're very sedate around here.
You're very bleary-eyed though this morning.
Yeah, I have never gotten allergies before. I don't know what it is, but my eyes are watering like crazy and they're like really puffy. That was why we were like 10 seconds late to getting on the air this morning because my eyes are a little blurry and I misread which channel the music was playing on.
Well, see, I told you.
We were 10 seconds late.
10 seconds.
Oh, no.
So you do pay attention to the clock, huh, John?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You know I do.
But Sam,
new clock anyway.
No, what's this? I hear that you slept in your car overnight.
Yeah, that's right.
God,
so after this training day on Saturday, spent the night at a friend's house down in Stevens Point, also who works at the camp. He was having his birthday party.
Oh.
And late at night, after we all had a few, we decided to go out for pizza, and then some of them decided to walk back to the house, and I thought I was following them, but I guess I wasn't.
You lost sight of them?
They lost them. They lost them purposely.
Stitch them, come on.
So I was wandering the streets of Stevens Point, and eventually wound up back at my car, and I just decided to try and fall asleep there until I drove back to Madison in the morning.
In the VW Bug, is that got luxurious sleeping quarters in the back?
Oh, if you lay down in the back seat, you only have to squish your legs up a little bit in order to fit.
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. No, You're not convincing me at all. I keep forgetting. I mean, I know you're a young Gen Zer.
Yeah.
And you have to go through all of this in order to figure out that maybe this was really not the thing you should do when you're 30, 40, 50, 60.
Well, good thing I'm not 30, 40, 50, 60.
I know.
I'm young and
Live it
spry.
up in your 20s.
I don't know.
Let's go crazy.
I think, you should drink responsibly. And you're not drinking responsibly.
It's not that I was that drunk, John. I just don't know what happened to the people I was with.
Well, good for you for
maybe
not
they did lose me
driving.
There you go.
Yeah, I would never have driven home that night. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. Well, let's check the National Day calendar and see what's going on there.
Oh, okay.
Did you have more, John?
No, I probably did, but I forgot what it was. My attention span isn't very good.
Really?
So, oh yeah,
I hadn't noticed.
Really?
Okay, is it or is it not? Here we go. Pardon me. Got a frog in my throat. Global Pay It Forward Day. Is it that? Is it National Superhero Day? How about National Blueberry Pie Day? Or National Great Poetry Day? Or National French Toast Day?
Which not
day
French Toast Day.
You're right, John. Right out of the box. First one of the week. You got it right.
Well, it's my famous French toast that you're referring to there.
I am, yeah.
So,
which you make with a secret recipe.
Yes.
What
do you have? A secret
have?
recipe that I've told everybody about 1,000 times.
You put cinnamon in.
I do. I put cinnamon on the toast as it is frying.
As it's cooking, right.
Yeah, it's frying on one side. I put the cinnamon on the other side, a lot of it. And when you flip it over, you fry the cinnamon, you brown it, and it really adds a different flavor to the cinnamon. Mm-hmm. Kind of a nice edge to French toast, and it's just wonderful stuff.
You like that?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm saying it's wonderful. It's not just me saying that. It's
everybody in your household loves it.
Everybody just loves that French toast.
Oh my gosh! Well, maybe you could share the recipe with our listeners. Put it on the Facebook
I
or
think
YouTube.
That you should bring a griddle in here, and we should make it on the air someday.
Oh, what a great idea!
There
we could do that.
There is one ingredient I haven't really stressed a lot. It's flour. I put about a half a cup to 3/4 cup flour.
What?
In the bowl. Then I mix milk into it, and to diffuse it and make a nice creamy
bouillabaisse.
Yeah, bouillabaisse. I don't know.
No, either. Sounded like a word you could get away with.
It's kind of a breading. Essentially, it's a breading.
Okay.
And it helps coat the French toast a little bit as you're frying it.
By the way, before we get the National Day calendar junk, Doug from St. Francis piped up already. Hey, guys, just want to follow up. I reached out to Vicki McKenna about participating in the John and Gordy Show Taser Challenge. Doug's out there working the show.
Yes.
And he says, is there any chance Sage can kick in some cash prizes or maybe a new car? I'll let you know when Vicki gets back to us.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good that he's reaching out to Vicki. And I think a Taser Challenge.
I could see doing a hatchet throw challenge. With Vicki
a
McKenna.
hatchet throw? Okay.
I mean, I know Pete Hegseth was real successful with his throw.
Was he?
Do you remember that at all?
No.
What are you talking about? No.
No.
Oh, yeah.
What did he do with the hatchet?
He did a hatchet throw. But on the other side were band members of some kind of marching band.
Oh, no.
And they were practicing.
What? What did he have against the marching
And he
band?
overthrew the target.
Oh, no.
And the hatchet went over the target into the area where the people were, with their instruments practicing. And he knocked the instrument right out of the hands of somebody.
Wow, lucky he didn't kill anybody.
Wow. I mean,
Lord. That's
Wow.
Well, let's see.
he's in charge of the defense. Oh, God. Help us all.
Let's see. Today, National Day of Global Pay It Forward Day. This encourages people around the world to engage in small acts of kindness. It's a day to respond to someone's kindness toward you by being kind to somebody else. John, I know you do that just about every day.
Every day I
Pay
think
It
about
Forward.
that, yes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on.
I'll take credit for that.
Okay. It's National Superhero Day. Now, this is a day that you know all about, right?
I sure do.
Yeah,
Kids love being superheroes.
they sure do.
That's starting off the right way, by the way, thinking that they can help the human race.
Well, you look up to people like Batman, Superman, Captain America,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Iron Man, Hulk,
Yeah.
Spider-Man. These are just a few of the superheroes. The list goes on and on. There must be 40 or 50 superheroes by now. Even though they're fictional, superheroes provide role models for our children.
Absolutely.
It says here.
Yeah,
Really?
that's it.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They serve and protect while fighting evil.
It's not
We
just
could use some superheroes in Washington.
It's
don't you
not
think?
just fighting evil. A lot of these superheroes have personal lives, which are troubled, and that was one of the things that Marvel Comics specialized in
Really?
was
Okay.
writing about the troubled times that these superheroes have in their private lives, and that's why Spider-Man is so popular.
Yeah.
Because Peter Parker was rejected by everybody. He was a geek in school. No one liked him, and that was my attraction to him as well.
Yeah. Spider-Man. One of the more superheroes there out there. Here's how to observe Superhero Day. You ready
Okay.
for this?
All right, let's
Take
find
your
out.
favorite superhero to lunch and say thank you for all they do. So, can you get in touch with a superhero and take them to lunch? I don't know. Draw your version of a superhero. These are for kids, I think.
Yeah.
If you have one superpower, what would it be? What would it be?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Let's ask people. What? Yeah. Oh, I thought you had an answer for that, Sam. You're just giving me a
He's
time
giving
cue.
you the time cue.
Okay. It's also a National Blueberry Pie Day. Oh, I like blueberry pie. And did I read this one? National Great Poetry Reading Day.
No,
Didn't we just have a poetry thing last week?
Shakespeare. Speak.
Oh, that's right. What?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't even speak at all.
See you later.
Speak
19
Shakespeare.
minutes past the hour. We're going to be back and talk to Pam Yaki. She was at the, what do you call it? The
NFL
draft
draft.
thing. The draft thing. She's
Yeah.
going to give us a
The
complete
draft thing.
total
The
report of
NFL
some
draft.
sort of deal up at
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yeah, something was happening.
Got that coming up on John and Gordy in the morning. We'll be back shortly.
Is ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find the Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
She's on.
All right.
Hi, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Good. You survived the draft.
Ugh. Let's come back to work and get some rest.
Yeah. I suppose did you watch a lot of it?
Yeah, I watched Thursday definitely because we had a house full of company.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was kind of arriving Wednesday and Thursday. But then Friday we walked up and Saturday we were there most of the day. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. How long till we're up here, Sam?
20 seconds. I'm trying to find a Packers song quick. 15 seconds.
Here comes the Spider-Man. Yeah.
Here we go.
The Green Bay Packers lead the way. A victory is our cry. We have the will to win. We have the finest men who take the charge to do or die. The Green Bay Packers
Hi, it's
lead
the
the
Green Bay
way.
Packers, WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy in the morning. We're talking about the Green Bay Packer draft with Pam Yonke.
Good morning, Pam.
Hello, fellas. How are we doing on a Monday?
Oh, we're doing okay.
Not too bad. It was a wild weekend with the draft, that's for sure, you know.
Oh, yeah. Like I said to you guys off the air, I had to come back to work to get some rest. I was up in Green Bay last week. Basically, we got into town on Monday because we had people that were arriving from long distances starting that week, and then got an invitation to the Taste of the Draft, which is something that is normally held during the Super Bowl, giving the community a chance to kind of highlight some of their flavors. Well, they decided to try it in Green Bay, and it was a resounding success. It was organized by Gen Youth, which is a nonprofit that was organized by dairy farmers of America all across the countryside and the NFL. And really what it's designed to do is draw attention to food insecurity that a lot of people face. And I'll tell you what, they had former Packers there. Literally, it was at Schreiber Foods World Headquarters in downtown Green Bay. And they'd never done anything like this in their facility. So that was interesting. Then you've got supper clubs from all across Wisconsin.
Wow.
I think I want to say they ended up with at least 12, could have been more,
Yeah.
that had one item off their menu that they featured. Paul Bartolotto from Milwaukee, for example, had beef stroganoff. There were little sandwiches. There was everything imaginable from appetizers through to dessert. And then there were Packer alum stationed at each one of these as well. So while I was doing my interviews with the folks from the Dairy Management Incorporated group, I geeked out a little bit and grabbed a picture and an autograph with Mason Crosby and Nick Barnett. Antonio Freeman was there, and then Chef Andrew Zimmer. So, it was just one of those deals where it was everything the Farm Babe had hoped for and then some.
Wow.
And yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I know,
Pretty
yeah.
crazy indeed.
Well, it'd be great to meet Antonio Freeman. He gave us so many great moments. Many great moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And, they're just digging it because they're back in the spotlight in Green Bay again. And, like I said, a very, very well received all the way around. And the other part that I don't want to gloss over is the fact that they were really speaking passionately about food insecurity. Chef Andrew Zimmer has really made this quite part of his crusade and really definitely was very focused on don't just enjoy this food, but think about people that are questioning where their next meal comes from. And they had some fantastic silent auction items that were used to raise money for, let's say, food school equipment and some of those kinds of things, nonprofits that provide meals for others. So that's the way it kicked off on Wednesday night for me. And then from there on out, and one of the things that was highlighted at the Taste of the Draft was cheese carvings. So a friend of mine that used to be with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin is now a cheese carver herself. Vicki Janish is her name. She's from DeForest, and you can follow her on Instagram as Artistic Agriculturist. And she was charged with using Hook's cheddar cheese from Mineral Point blocks and turning it into the Lombardi Trophy in front of all these people. And so I was talking to Vicki. It was a warm venue. The weather in Green Bay for that Wednesday event was great, but it was warm. And both Vicki and I are notorious for being hot in sub-zero weather. So she was working away on that cheddar cheese. It looked just beautiful, though, and it was just a really cool story that kind of brings it back to Wisconsin's love of cheese. And I don't know if you saw any of the draft or that, but it seemed like cheese curds were kind of front and center in front of everybody. I was watching all the sports shows that were broadcasting from Lambeau Field, and not a one of them got away from cheese curds or cheese or broth. So it really was about Wisconsin agriculture, Wisconsin food, Wisconsin celebrations.
Well, you mentioned something here in your email about the Guernsey girls from Freedom, and they were passing out cheese curds in the middle of traffic there.
Yeah, they were, yeah, literally. If you were walking down to the draft theater, you couldn't miss the Guernsey girls. These are dairy farm gals up by Freedom that have started their own cheese marketing from their Guernsey dairy herd. And I was talking to them, and they said they had 40,000 pounds of cheese. I caught them Saturday late afternoon. They said the NFL had asked them to please stay longer because people were so happy with their product. Well, yeah, but then when they're standing there Saturday afternoon when it's about ready to head to the draft theater and then Brad Paisley, and the girls were like, "We got 40,000 pounds of cheese, Pam. Can you help us promote it on social media? Because we got to take it back to the store in Freedom." So there was definitely big volumes, but not necessarily the volumes that some had planned for.
Wow, you're right here. Curds were everywhere.
Literally.
Wow.
You couldn't find a table anywhere from the draft theater to the war rooms. Everybody was always offered cheese curds, and most of them were deep fried in one way, shape, or form.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah.
What do you think the impressions of the out-of-towners and out-of-staters and people coming into the draft? Did they enjoy themselves? It looked like they did. Looks like everybody had a great time. Yeah.
Well, think about it. About it. Yeah. Where else in the world do you get 600,000 people together and end up with one arrest in the course of
my gosh, really?
3 days?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
arrest.
it. That's amazing. Yeah.
600,000 people, one arrest. Yeah. So, like I said, like I said, growing up just north of Green Bay, I was exceptionally proud of the way the community handled it all the way around. It was beautiful visually. I'm just glad I was a part of it. A little sliver of it, boys.
Wow. You are part of the legend up there now,
Yeah,
Pam.
that's right.
Right.
Pam, thank you for that report. That was great.
That was good stuff.
All right, guys.
All right.
Talk to you next time. Yep. That's Pam Yankee, and in fact, the Food and Farm Report coming up next. Also, in our next hour, Amy Horak from David J. Frank. All coming up on John and Gordy.
Goofed on the new clocks again.
What? What?
Said I goofed on them. Pam, are you still there?
She gone.
Okay, so we are having a problem with the phones then.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down, until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
This is grade A weapons-grade stupidity.
Just doing my civic duty, sir.
We can duck and cover. There's a fallout shelter right there.
There's no way to survive this, you idiot!
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
All the time. All the time. John and Gordy in the morning, WMDX. Hope you're having a good morning, a little hazy out there. I'm not quite sure if this is rain-type weather or not.
Well, John, let me inform you.
Okay, yeah, fill us in. You were weatherman at one time. This comes naturally. You don't even have to look at your weather forecast in front of you.
That's right. It was clear overnight. We've got some clouds moving in now, and those clouds are going to be followed by some wind a little bit later on, and it's going to get really humid and hot later on today. Right now, 53 degrees. Could be in for some strong to severe thunderstorms later on this evening and tonight. So just keep an eye to the sky and the ear right here.
Wow.
Okay. And we'll get the inside on the outside, whether we like it or not, from Brittany Merlot, our chief meteorologist for WMDX, a little bit later on.
Open the door to all those cliches. I just love them.
By the way, this portion of the show, John, is brought to you by our friends at Furlough Mattress of Madison. One thing that remains constant since they opened the doors back in 1958, well, they are still direct to consumer and provide superior products at unbeatable prices.
That's what I've been saying.
I know. You always say that. And they have 2 locations right here in Madison. One that's on the east side of Madison, and one's on the west side of Madison.
Absolutely.
You can find out more. They have a website. It's called Verlo.com.
Oh.
Okay.
And, of course, those adjustable bed frames.
They have those.
You have to ask for those. You have to get on one of those. You will be sold instantly.
You'll love it.
That. I was going to mention that this morning, as a matter of fact. You know, you can kind of lay flat, and sometimes if you lay flat, you're kind of stretched out, and you're having a hard time breathing, perhaps. You know, all you have to do is just raise up.
Is that what you do? Do you
raise it up maybe an inch, maybe at the most.
Really,
and
just
it
an
just
inch.
makes that much of a difference.
What happens if you do it the opposite way, where you raise your feet like an inch?
You can do that.
And then you put your head down lower.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do any of those positions that you want.
Do you sometimes change it in the middle of the night and wake up
all the time?
Really?
Yeah, I actually have the remote control under my pillow.
Do you? Oh, you do not?
Yes.
You really?
No, I do. Yes.
Oh. Don't you get confused which button to push? If you're sound asleep. Or...
Well, the button has an up and then a down, so it's not real hard to figure out.
Well, that's great.
That's why it's so easy to operate, and that's why I recommend them to just about anybody. Because if you can push a button up or down, you're there.
You can sleep more soundly.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. All right, should we get to what?
Time for Idiocracy? Idiocracy, yeah. Let's get to
everybody's talking about Idiocracy now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to one here. The megas have a hard time figuring out what authoritarianism is. And if you bring it up to them, they accuse Biden of being an authoritarian.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Everything is the opposite in their world. And Laura Ingraham had a guest on, a Democratic congresswoman, and the congresswoman was getting at this authoritarianism and also mentioning a few other things, but Laura did not want any of that message getting out to her listeners. So let's listen to cut 229 and what happened.
Okay.
I'm not here to really advocate for one person. That needs to happen in court. No evidence has actually ever been presented.
You went to El Salvador. Now you're saying it's not about him? Of course it's about him.
Due process.
You went to El Salvador for a political stunt, and now you're saying it's not about him.
It is about this case. Laura, it is about the rule of law. This is a bipartisan issue. It transcends partisan politics. That's why a conservative-leaning Supreme Court has said that Donald Trump must facilitate the return of this individual. This is very dangerous. We are turning into an authoritarian country, and there are Americans from all across the political spectrum who are deeply concerned about this. Again, my office has not received more calls about any other issue since I have been a congresswoman than this one, tariffs being the second one, and the lack of real logical economic policy. But the issue of due process, these are, and when we had a town hall the other night, this is the issue.
Talk over her.
Wow.
I love that. All those calls you got into your office are robocalls. Not people complaining about the Republican agenda or the authoritarianism or the takeover. No, it was robocalls. What is she talking about? Is she on acid or something? Holy crap. Oh.
Well, it is a bipartisan issue, as that congressperson was trying to say, you know, in between, because there are a lot of conservative Republicans that are just as upset about it. They're just not speaking out about it as much, it seems.
Well, yeah, they bent the knee.
Yeah.
They're ignoring due process, and that's what that whole thing was about. By the way, she was accused, this congresswoman was accused of a photo op.
Oh, really?
In El Salvador for going down there. That's why she went down there. Photo op. I happen to remember a recent incident. I think it was Kristi Noem went down there for a photo op.
Stood in front of the jail there with all the prisoners in the background. Yeah, all dressed up in her mega gear.
I don't know. Was that a photo op?
Geez,
I don't know.
It.
But, you know, when the Democrats do it, you never want to see that happen.
No.
You know, take advantage of the situation. Oh, God. All right, now let's this wasn't mentioned very often. You know, the Pope passed away, and Marjorie Taylor Greene had a reaction to the Pope's passing.
Really? I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, well, this is a web wisdom from Tizzy Ent. We've heard from him before, and he was covering this particular story. So let's listen to Tizzy.
Right. I'm not speaking of Pope Francis. No, I'm speaking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who in response to the death of Pope Francis tweeted, "Today there were major shifts in global leadership. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God." She said that the death of Pope Francis was evil being defeated by the hand of God. Listen, I got lots of issues with churches, Catholic Church, definitely. But one thing you can say about Pope Francis was he tried to do something better. He was very progressive. He's someone who, what we would call in Christianity, tried to live his life Christ-like, in that he showed love and compassion and empathy to people of all walks of life, to people of different faiths, to people who had maybe different ideas about sexuality or their gender, all of these things. He was someone who defaulted to empathy and kindness. Unlike Marjorie Taylor Greene, who had the nerve to say that his death was evil being defeated by God.
Yeah. She manages to stir things up a little bit with stupidity. The big spoon of stupidity. Stirring things up. Oh, God. Help us all. Oh,
just never ends.
All right. Well, okay. Here's something.
Okay.
This is a big vote now in the House. You know, they're going to cut Medicaid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What they're trying to do is
what they want.
This is just an amazing thing. You know, they made a big deal in Wisconsin when we were debating, should we take Medicaid expansion or not? And the state didn't want to do it. You know why they didn't want to do it? Because, you know, even if we took it, and the split was the federal government paying 90% and the state paying just 10%, they kept warning us, that's not written in stone. It could change. Those damn Democrats could change it and throw everything off balance. Well, guess who's throwing everything off balance? The Republicans, the megas in the House. At a town hall in Texas, when discussing Elon Musk and ways to fix Social Security and expansion of Medicaid, let's listen to Representative Pat Fallon, his idea in order to get people off that important program called Social Security in this particular instance. Let's listen.
No one has said that they're cutting Social Security. Elon says it every day. Or Elon is not setting policy. And I don't think he said it. I never heard him say it. I have not heard him say it once.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
So it's just, anyway, so the way we fix Social Security, one of the ways, is to tell young people you're going to get a different deal. So you give them 40 or 50 years notice so they can, they can get a second job.
See?
Okay.
you caught the end of that, right?
Yeah.
Get a second job.
Yeah.
Not like we're already doing that.
No.
This thing where they're going to tell the youth of America today, you're going to have a special deal.
Oh, sure.
We're going to cut it way back, and you're going to have a tough time later in life when you want to retire. You're not going to have the money. It's not going to be there, but it will be in Wall Street, and they would have made a lot of money off of you. But, just simply get that second job. That's as easy as you can make it. My God.
This sounds like just like the debate between Herbert Hoover and FDR in 1932.
Wow.
Hoover said people deserve a square deal. Doesn't matter. They deserve what's fair. What's fair to them. And we get to decide what's fair. And FDR, well, we don't get to decide what's fair. You get to decide what's fair. You get to decide what your New Deal should be. And that's where you got the term New Deal.
Oh.
Yeah. We shouldn't have Elon telling us that we got to get a second job. Social Security's going away.
Yeah. And that's what they want. I mean, that's kind of a weird solution to it. That's the first time I've heard that. Get a second job. That'll help you with your Social Security. I mean, it's true. A lot of people find it very, very difficult to retire. They do retire from the job that they have, but they get some other job. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
And I know I've done that. And you've done that.
I've done that, yeah.
So, I mean, everybody's kind
Absolutely.
of done that. But to come right out and say, well, the solution to Social Security, even though we're going to make some cuts to it, just get an extra job and supplement those payments that you get every month. Wow.
Well, we've been relatively lucky in the health department. So, as far as our personal lives, you can still get a second job and stay active. I want to. I want to work. I want to work as long as I can.
Too. Yeah.
Stay active. But some people can't do that. They get a little older and they can't.
They've had very tough jobs throughout their life, and their body is breaking down. Everybody has a different biological makeup, so you never know. A lot of people. It's very difficult. A lot of people don't understand that when you see somebody walking down the sidewalk, they're overweight.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they can't exercise because they have other health problems, or maybe it's genetic.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Were you going to say something?
I was about to say it's 6:47. Phone lines are open, 608-879-8255. You can call us or text us on the Civic Media app. What?
On the subject of age, okay?
Yeah.
I'm a little older now. I got my glasses on.
Yeah, same here.
I needed to read. And is there any way we could make the print on the computer monitor any smaller? Is there any
smaller?
Look how small that is.
I know.
I'm supposed to read that? Yeah, that's a little small.
I'll get right on it, John.
Now I'm mad. Now I'm really angry.
We did get a text about, by the way,
we did.
Elon Musk from our friend Doug. And, I saw him over the weekend. I think I mentioned that. And but he wanted to text in this morning. Hate to tell you this, but just confirmed that Musk's vision of human beings being an interplanetary species does not include radio personalities. We're being left on Earth.
Oh.
When Musk, goes up into the space with everybody. Okay.
He's taking William Shatner with him, too.
Is that right?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, 6:48. We're back with more of John and Gordy in the morning.
are
a little cloudy out there this morning, John. 53 degrees, highs in the upper 70s, or maybe low 80s. It's a gas. All right.
It is. It is.
Sam, why do you belch into the microphone?
Yeah. What's on hold by? Wait, hold it.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Wait, no, let's some more here. Wait, again.
Really? Man.
All right, Mad Magazine.
That's dumb.
It was a cardboard record.
You got it from Mad Magazine?
Legendary. Absolutely legendary. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had a couple of albums, too. Yeah. Robert texted us. He said, hold down the control button, then move the scroller wheel on the mouse, and it'll make the text bigger.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, son. We know that.
If only they could read that, though. They can't
we
read
couldn't
that.
read that since it was too small.
That's true. See, that was my problem. But that's how easy it is. Mm-hmm. It is.
And Mark had a comment here. We were talking about, get on Social Security. Well, just get a second job if that's not enough money. That's what Republicans want.
Right.
Mark says they think you should work till the day you die. Then the corporation should get your body to convert it to Soylent Green. Remember that movie?
Oh,
Soylent Green?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everybody's favorite snack.
Yeah. Yeah. To make a profit on your death. That as well. Okay. Thank you for all those texts. You can call us 608-879-8255. You can text us there or do it the easy way on the Civic Media app.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
you got to wonder, they're making a lot of cuts in the government here, and a lot of the Republicans are going along with it. They don't care. It's Elon. Blame him. And they're not paying attention to what's going on, all the cuts. And CNN host Brianna Keeler asked Senator Jim Banks about the Trump administration's changes to the VA, and you'll notice he's completely unaware of the details.
Didn't know about it.
Stuck on the large bureaucracy distraction that he likes to repeat over and over. So let's listen to this cut.
Does it put veterans first to cut people who work on their benefits or who provide them health care?
I'm just not convinced that that's happening. I'm not convinced that that's happening.
It is.
I'm
can I
convinced
ask you, Senator, are you talking to your constituents?
I hear from my constituents every day. They want the VA to be less bureaucratic and more focused on the veteran. I am a veteran.
Not saying that.
That's what President Trump is focused on. That's what I'm focused on as well. The talking points of the VA cutting necessary employees who are focused on veterans is bogus. It's not provable. The fact is that DOJ, President Trump, myself, Republicans in the Senate and the Congress, we're going to make sure that this VA works better for veterans than ever before. I guarantee it.
You're aware they cut people from the hotline, right? And then reinstated them. But that there are still a number of key support staff on that hotline who have not been rehired. The silent monitors and other folks. I mean, are you tracking that?
I'm tracking that the VA is a large bureaucracy, and there are ways to make it more efficient to work better for veterans. I can keep repeating that over and over again.
That's direct care to veterans who are utilizing.
There are no signs that the VA There are no signs that the VA is working less for our veterans today than what it was 45 days ago. President Trump is focused on our veterans, delivering care to our veterans, and we're going to do that. And we're going to do it even more efficiently than ever before.
Right. So you endorse the cuts to key support staff on the veteran hotline.
There have not been cuts to key support staff at the VA. The VA is going to work more efficiently, and DOJ is going to recommend and find ways to do that. And Congress. It is true. The 45 days into this administration, President Trump is focused. I'm focused. Republicans are focused on making the VA work better. I mean, the fact is what President Trump did in his first term to provide more community care and better options to our veterans, whether it's at a VA hospital or at a private hospital. So we're talking about cuts to the VA right now. He did great. He did historic and great things to the VA for the VA in his first term.
Sir,
he's going to do even more and greater things for the VA in his second term. I'm not changing the subject. Okay. Your bogus claims you can't prove that the VA is less equipped to care for veterans today than what it was 45 days ago. The fact is, President Trump's going to make the VA work better than ever before.
Ooh, that's a nice cliche. Just keep repeating that. That's all.
Representative Jim Banks.
He has
there.
absolutely no idea of the cuts that are being made. And then he goes back to the first administration of Trump. Wow.
Unbelievable. Hey, let's go to the phone.
But she's great, isn't she?
Oh,
isn't she one of the great debaters?
Yes, she is.
Oh, my God.
She's excellent.
She's
on CNN.
excellent, yeah.
Matt is on the line here with a question or a comment. Good morning, Matt. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. Why are we such a stupid country? I don't understand it. Like, you have European nations that have figured out certain things that work a lot better.
Yeah.
But we're too proud and ignorant to learn from other countries. I've only had one economics course at technical college, and I can even figure out that our two big problems is our tax system is extremely cruel. The poor in the middle seem to pay a higher percentage of our incomes, and we're taxed an awful lot with, mandatory insurance premiums and all these things. Like the internet's gotten a lot more expensive than we need it. While France, made it a utility, and people in France pay a lot less for internet. There's all these simple answers, but we're too stupid and controlled by the billionaires who don't pay taxes, who cheat the system. They get into government, and then they put the slave system on the rest of us.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask, can I get a pitchfork that has Wi-Fi so I can listen to my Spotify while I'm, burning
protesting?
down their houses?
Good idea, Matt. Yeah.
Pitchforks and torches. I'm ready. I'm ready for
I
that.
think you can get those at Menards.
Give me the signal.
Okay. Very good.
Very good points.
Matt, thank you
Yeah,
for that call. It is 6:59. News is next. Coming up in our next hour, Amy Horak from David J. Frank with the Horticultural Report. We got to change the name of that. Brittany Merlot also with an update on stormy weather. It's all coming up. I'm John and Gordy.
As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show. Up in the morning at the crack of dawn. Wind has broken. Now the morning sun is shining like a red rubber ball. Woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. 7 a.m. comes too fast, roll out of the bed to that alarm clock blast. It's a beautiful morning. Good morning, good morning.
WNDX 92.7, John and Gordy in the morning, and what a fantastic song to lead us into this morning.
Well, we've got a lot of clouds moving in downtown now, and saw just a ray of sunshine, but I think the clouds are going to be taking over, at least at times today, and we've got some chances for some rain along the way late this afternoon, and maybe some thunderstorms tonight, some strong to severe thunderstorms. We'll check in with Brittany Merlot, our WMDX chief meteorologist, in about 15 minutes and get the latest. But could be really strong tonight.
That ray of sunlight you saw.
Yeah. What was that?
That was the look on the leaf blower's face.
They're out there,
very optimistic getting that job done.
Well, they do a great job because I don't see any leaves out there at all. Because every day they're out there. If there are 1 or 2 leaves, they're after them.
That's the cleanest street in the world.
State Street, right down.
It truly is.
Well, the Mifflin Street block party was happening over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, I know. I drove down here on Saturday.
Oh man, what a nightmare.
Don't ever do that.
No, don't. There were a million people out.
They don't let you drive on any of the side streets. They have it all blocked off.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nightmare. Yeah. All right. Shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that. All right. Let's talk about the arrest of the judge in Milwaukee, which just hit the fan nationwide. Everybody's picking up on this.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because the Trump administration is going after the judicial branch. They're threatening judges all over the place, and this is their one big opportunity to go after a judge in Milwaukee. And this could be a trumped-up charge on her, no pun intended, but I was tuning around the AM dial, and I ran across an afternoon rerun, I think, of Dan O'Donnell's show. He's on like at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning in Milwaukee. And he was taking all the credit for noticing what Judge Hannah Dugan had done with an immigrant in her courtroom. And he discovered it. It was his news story. And he even thanked the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel for giving him credit for... Oh, God. Okay, and I'm bringing it up only because this is how it starts. One of these Republican talking disc jockeys out there bring up the subject matter, and then it gets blown completely out of proportion. It gets picked up nationally, and then, of course, the Trump administration found out about it, sent Pam Bondi, AG, into the area and scooped her up in public, perp walked in public.
Yeah.
It has to be like that. That's a big showbiz thing for them.
Photo op.
So thank you, Dan O'Donnell, for you discovering that egregious behavior by a judge. All right, so there's a lot of different points of view on this. I saw one recently from some attorney on TV, and they said that it's based on what she said to the immigrant that appeared in her courtroom in order to leave the courtroom. See, Hannah Dugan knew that ICE was outside.
Okay.
So she directed this immigrant after his court case to leave out the side door through a back hallway.
Okay.
Now, it depends on how she phrased it. Now, did she block ICE? Did she lie about it? This is the analysis from Brian Krastenstein. He reported this. Here's why Judge Dugan, her arrest is a complete joke. DHS ICE only had an administrative warrant, not a criminal judicial warrant. Administrative warrants don't authorize agents to bust into private spaces like a courtroom without consent. At the time in question, the man was inside a private courtroom, not wandering the public halls.
Okay.
Quietly telling someone, take the jury door instead, isn't a crime unless you lie, threaten, or physically block agents. The affidavit makes no claim that Judge Dugan had done any of those things. According to the government's own documents, after the hearing ended, Judge Dugan allegedly pointed Flores Ruiz, the immigrant, and his lawyer toward a non-public jury door, a back exit used by staff and jurors. That's it. That's what she did. That's the case. No lies, no threats, no physical obstruction, no crime. That's his analysis of it. Now, Governor Evers, over the weekend, I guess, released a memo helping state employees deal with ICE agents. And this is a web wonder. I don't even know what I don't know where he got this. I tried to research this. I couldn't find this story anyplace, but this guy came up with it, and here it is. This is cut 255. You got that? All right, let's listen to this.
We have some breaking news right now. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has instructed state employees to limit cooperation with ICE officials. Folks, this is significant, and this comes one day after FBI agents arrested a Wisconsin judge over allegedly obstructing an ICE arrest. So this is the memo that was sent out from the state of Wisconsin Department of Administration to state employees, instructing them about how to act if state employees encounter ICE or other federal agents at their workplace. You can read the full memo here, but it's also online. There are serious concerns after this judge was arrested, both in Wisconsin and across the country, about ICE agents interrupting official state business. And well, now Governor Evers, who is a Democrat, is stepping up to ensure that ICE does not dictate what happens within the state of Wisconsin. It'll be curious to see whether or not other states follow suit.
That's right. So that is what took place. I haven't been able to find that story anyplace, but that supposedly is what happened. All right. So
I know Maggie Dawn has had some comments on this the other day.
Too. Yeah, she looked at the whole thing. You mentioned that she is a friend.
Yeah, she knows
Hannah Dugan.
She's been before that judge.
Yeah, Maggie worked in Milwaukee County. Still, I think works in Milwaukee County, doing. I'm not sure in what capacity, her lawyer stuff, but she's worked there for decades at this point. And she knows Hannah Dugan, has worked with her before, and she was one of the first people to find out, and she told us about the news. I was recording an interview with her on Friday when the news broke.
This is such an extreme act.
Yeah.
The Republicans love this. The MAGAs love this, and this is their big talking point now. The judges ought to be arrested, put in jail. I guess they're throwing around like Hannah Dugan committing at least 2 felonies, and it's crazy. The right wing has really picked up on this, and we'll see what happens. Don't wait for the day in court. Get the mileage you can now. Right? Accuse her of everything, and then backtrack. All right, and then be proven wrong. That's how it always happens on the right anyway. They live in opposite day every day on that side of the aisle.
That's the way it seems anyway.
Yeah.
14 past the hour. Phone lines are open if you'd like to comment on that. 608-879-8255. Or you can text us on the Civic Media app. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends at Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing that remains constant since they opened up in 1958, they're still direct-to-consumer and provide superior products at unbeatable prices. 2 locations in Madison, East Side or West Side, or just go to Verlo.com for more.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Mark waiting. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, guys. Why didn't ICE, if they're going to detain this guy, say coordinate with the court, coordinate with the judge's staff and say that we're going to detain this guy, but we understand you have a court proceeding, so let her complete that court proceeding and then do what they needed to do, because this court proceeding has now been delayed. And as far as I'm concerned, the state of Wisconsin has its first crack at this guy because he's, accused of apparently some battery charge, apparently, that the state of Wisconsin should have got its chance to have this guy have his court proceeding, and then ICE could detain him rather than sending in the flying squad in there to interrupt with the state of Wisconsin's first crack at this guy, to administer justice. I mean, that it is just ridiculous that they did this. They could have coordinated all this, and for all I know, that they wanted to embarrass, they want to come up with some embarrassing incident, on a daily basis, and
that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's just deeply disturbing, and shows that the lack of thought that went into this whole detention process, because it is just you need 5 guys to arrest one guy. I mean, I don't get that.
I know. But none of this is legal. None of this should be happening because we really don't have an emergency in this country. We don't have.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And if we had stopped this originally and had some court case that challenged it and eventually won by the people challenging it, we wouldn't be going through this mess. And I don't know why we're allowed to let all these things happen, slip by.
And Donald Trump wears a blue suit to the Pope's funeral rather than black like everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that he fell asleep and his jaw was wide open while he was sleeping there in front.
And he wasn't supposed to be sitting in the front row, but he demanded to sit in the front row.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah.
So everybody could see him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with Melania. And then, of course, he texted a few things. He wasn't even paying attention. He was texting.
Unbelievable.
And then he fell asleep.
Yeah.
And his mouth wide open, sleeping in the front row.
Yeah.
We all knew he was going to embarrass himself and us, and we really shouldn't be surprised.
No.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Mark, thank you for that call.
I know, sometimes you just,
you just throw up your hands.
You just can't imagine how this is happening.
Okay.
But, I don't think the MAGAs get the whole point of this. It's due process. That's what the whole thing is.
That's the whole thing.
I mean, they've sent
deportation.
Another big story we were going to get to here, and I'll just bring it up now a little bit anyway. The 3 children, American citizens, sent away, taken out of the country, deported. Now, in one, I think 1 or 2 of them had health problems, dangerous health problems, one cancer. So
unbelievable.
There has to be some day in court, due process, find out what's going on. These kids at least could have been taken care of in some way, shape, or form. Custody. Give the parents some peace of mind working through that. But instead, they scooped up one mom who had a 3-month-old baby and sent her to Cuba, and Cuba does not allow any flights into this country. So she's not coming back.
Yeah. The Biden administration did deportations. Obama's administration did deportations, but they did it with due process.
That's the thing. And my MAGA friend in Milwaukee sent me this video. And it was from a Fox News host saying, "Well, what? He did all of this. Obama did all these deportations. What's the difference?" Well, maybe you should look it up.
Due process.
This would be an easy thing to find out. Yeah, it was due process, a day in court.
Mm-hmm. It's 19 past the hour. Coming up next, we're going to get an update on the weather. We could be in for some severe weather later on this evening and late tonight as well. We'll get the update from WMDX meteorologist Brittany Merlot on John and Gordy.
You've been invited. Come on and swing, swing, swing it. Baby, come do your thing.
Swing it.
Morning, Brittany.
Good morning.
There we go.
All right, so big stormy weather tonight.
Yeah.
Around
I'm getting
here.
hit pretty hard right now. I just had
Are
a
you?
crazy bolt touch the ground by my house. I jumped.
Huh.
No kidding.
Wow.
What time is it supposed to hit us down here?
You guys probably shouldn't start till 5 or 6.
And then the really tough stuff later on. I was watching Charlie this morning.
Oh, what is he going with? Is he
he's saying like 8 or 9 o'clock. Well, he's saying that big front won't hit us till like maybe 8 or 9, but there could be some storms before then. But the really heavy stuff a little bit later.
Okay.
Timing is everything, right?
Yeah. I think the first ones are going to be worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There
I'm gonna
seems
go
to,
against him.
well, we should talk about this on the air, but there seems to there were 2 or 3 different models that they're going, that are everybody's trying to decide today. Well, how's it really going to play out? Because there's a lot of debate on this one.
I get it.
Well, we didn't get Saturday Night Live in there.
Well,
3 minutes.
It's a long time. You can get a lot done in 3 minutes.
Trump claims tariffs will do away with feds.
So you're getting storms this morning in Wausau.
Yep.
Heavy rain?
Heavy rain and a lot of lightning and thunder. Nothing else. Just a good warning. Wake up.
Yeah. Hey, did you watch any of the NFL draft?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Did you get over there for it?
No.
Well, let me ask you this.
Superior.
Did you watch the last guy that was in the room just waiting
You're
around?
on time,
Did you see that?
Poor guy.
Good foot. Got to get off on the good foot this morning.
Oh, yeah.
WMDX 92.7, John and Gordy in the morning.
Right. Yeah. Now we're seeing sunshine again.
Yeah, what the heck
here
is
on
going
State
on here?
Street.
You're just singing the blues, That's a little too soon, my friend.
Well, but the clouds are eventually going to take over, and maybe some stormy weather.
You still have to be right? Oh, yeah, the clouds will be at.
Well, let's check in with our professional meteorologist, to get the real word on what's happening here. Our chief meteorologist for WMDX, Brittany Merlot. She knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But there's some thunderstorms near you in Wausau this morning, right?
Yes, they woke us up in northern Wisconsin. They've been rolling through about 5 o'clock this morning. It started and it has not stopped. Got a lot of cloud to ground lightning, big thunder rolling through, but that's about it besides some heavy downpours. I mean, we have the chance for hail, but we haven't had it yet. But you can just tell today. Something's in the atmosphere. It's got an eerie vibe to it this morning. I mean, we had I don't know about you, but I had a red sunrise.
Yeah.
And legend has it, right?
Uh-oh.
Red sky in the morning.
Sailors
Sailors take warning.
Take warning. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And say the rest of the phrase. There's more, right?
There is?
I don't know it. Do you know it?
Is it green sky at night, sailor's delight? I think. I could be wrong about that.
Right.
There was only
I
a
think
source
there's a lot
to
of
find
sexual
this out.
innuendo in that. What are you bringing up here? What are you, drunk?
Okay. Let's get back on track here. So,
yes.
There's going to be a lot of heat and humidity later. Like the temperatures are really going to jump up this afternoon, right?
Yeah. So you're going to hit about 80 degrees in Madison.
Yeah.
And your dew points, John, you'll love this one, is going to be 65 degrees. So that's muggy.
Boy.
That
humid,
is
that's
awful.
Sticky.
Yeah.
I agree. And all of that, of course, is the perfect mixture. So we've had the warm front lift in. We're going to get hot, humid, unstable. And then we've got a cold front that wants to sweep through tonight. So it's going to do a couple of things. First, with the heat of the day, those storms could spark up probably around 5 or 6 o'clock, a little bit off to the west. And then I think those are going to be rolling towards you around 6 or 7. So I think you're going to get a first round around 6 or 7. And some of those definitely could be severe. I think those have the potential for strong tornadoes, maybe EF2 or higher, which could rip roofs off, shift foundation. I mean, we're talking about some strong, intense storms tonight. So I'd stay weather savvy from at least 5 p.m. through maybe 1 a.m. or so. I know that's through the overnight hours, but as the cold front actually moves through, I think we're going to get another wave of storms later tonight, maybe around midnight. And that is going to probably have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as the line comes through, probably hail with it. And we could also see more tornadoes embedded, hidden in that line, rain-wrapped, surprising us as it moves in at like 50 miles an hour. So A lot of
Okay,
rapid.
you sufficiently
formation.
scared the daylights out of us.
I'm sorry. I hate this part of my
Wait,
job, but
do I have to take the gazebo down again?
I think
That's
Mother
right,
Nature
your-
might take
your
it for
damn
you if she
gazebo.
wants. Yeah.
Here I'm thinking we're going to have to break out the cots in the basement. And you're worried about your damn gazebo.
Spent a lot of time in that gazebo and paid a lot of money for
maybe you
it.
should take shelter in the gazebo.
No.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh my
All right,
gosh.
Brittany. Well, we've been sufficiently warned, and you know,
Yes.
thanks for the update. And boy, we'll
Yeah.
just keep a real close eye on things.
I'm
and,
scared now.
Well,
Please do.
you know,
Just
make
have a
sure you
plan.
got a
Don't be
weather
scared.
radio and
Yeah. I got it right here. Weather
you
radio
got it.
ready to go. Just
Oh,
get your
yeah,
stuff
that's the way
ready.
to go.
Yeah,
Yep.
the weather radios.
Yeah, and you know, most of your cell phones will give you warnings, and you know.
Oh, yeah,
through
definitely.
that, so-
I get it on my Samsung watch,
Yeah,
the
there
official
you go.
weather watch.
Ooh.
All right.
Fancy. Hey, it works
Brittany,
though. That's all that matters. Yes,
that's
you guys stay
right.
safe. All right.
Okay, thank you, Brittany.
I was wondering,
What-
do you have a little
what?
extra time, Brittany?
I do. What you got?
All right, because we have something very special here at the
Oh.
WMDX studios. It is the official WMDX weather window.
Oh,
We have a weather window.
yeah.
It's easily accessible to us in the studio, and we've been spitballing, how to market this damn thing. And I came up with it provides an accurate and easy way to see what the weather is like outside
Yes.
from the
What else?
from the comfort of any room in the house with a window.
Well, okay. Supposed to stay away from the windows when there's
how about-
tornado. Okay, but go ahead.
Here's yet another thing. It's never wrong. Okay. It's what you see is what you get. Imagine no batteries to change, no downtime. And it's new and improved, by the way.
Oh.
It doesn't warp, it doesn't peel, and it doesn't fade over time like the old weather window.
There's more?
It works right out of the box.
Okay.
And there, by the way, we have an exclusive John and Gordy feature. It has a touch and feel hot and cold temperature surface. It changes with the weather.
Okay.
And the WMDX weather window has a deluxe version. It comes in rugged tempered glass for those on the go.
Nice.
And with that, you get a free set of John and Gordy's balls that bounce right off the WMDX weather window surface.
The stress balls.
Sold.
Wow, that's strong.
It is strong.
I can't.
You can't
keep
go
going
on.
with this.
Okay.
All right, we're spitballing it.
Oh my god, I'm dropping stuff over here. That's so funny, you guys.
Okay. All right, Brittany.
All right.
Yeah, we'll workshop that one.
Yes.
And
Hey,
we appreciate
if
it.
you have any ideas, let us know.
Okay.
All right.
That's Brittany Merlot, our WMDX chief meteorologist. Okay. Yeah, we do need to work on that one a little bit.
I can just hear the guy at the end, though,
Yeah.
with the John and Gordy balls bouncing off the window saying, wow, that's strong.
That's really, really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It is 7:29. Coming up right around the corner, we'll be talking with Amy Horak from David J. Frank.
Find out what we need to do around the yard.
That's right, with the horticultural report.
Absolutely.
That's coming up right here on John and Gordy in the Morning.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Mouthwash Cola Soda Pop, the all-new soda pop that cleans your breath but it rots your teeth.
Sounds like a fair trade.
Sure. It's very refreshing.
WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy in the morning. We got a text here from Mark in the sack, and he writes, we don't need those stinking expensive NOAA. We've got John and Gordy's weather window.
That's right.
Big thumbs up.
And again, we're seeing sunshine through the window at the moment. It's 7:36.
It's never wrong.
Well, that's correct. And we will be in for some rain and thunderstorms tonight, and could be strong or severe. So we'll keep you posted.
Well, we got another call.
Yeah, that's right. Dick is on the line with a question or a comment this morning. Phone lines are open, 608-879-8255. Good morning, Dick. What do you got for us today?
Well, Brittany explained it beautifully in the newscast without Noah, and Mark brought it up. Soon she won't have the ability to scare us. We'll just be able to just wander through this in the dark, so to speak. What storm? Why do we need to know about a tornado that's
I know.
half a mile away?
Right.
But there's something else that happened this weekend.
Yeah.
The Sunday talk shows.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Marco Rubio now, I didn't realize this. Maybe you guys had heard this, but apparently Justin Trudeau asked to be annexed because, he said we really can't compete with you if we change the tariff situation. And according to Rubio, that's what Trudeau said before he left office to Trump.
Oh, my God.
Oh, sure.
How much more delusional does this guy have to be?
That sounds nuts.
Sure he did.
Yeah, I'm sure that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, really?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so, they're in such a desperate way. But also, more on that, it looks like Nissan is going to close some plants, and also, what was it? One of them, other ones is talking about American plants in Indiana, Mississippi, Subaru, and Nissan both.
Wow, I did not hear
that'll
that.
Help.
Yeah.
That'll help the job situations, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was such a good idea doing the tariffs. And, I love, I think it's New York State is that I believe the governor there is going to get rid of all the Tesla dealerships out there. They were given an exemption to have dealerships for Tesla, and they're going to take the exemption away.
Because they're company owned, right? They're not sort of franchised or whatever.
Yeah, they're going to have other dealerships, other car manufacturer dealerships sell the Teslas as well. So, but anyway, they're going to get rid of the special dealerships, which, aren't allowed in this state. And thank goodness for that.
Yeah, there's more auto plants closing all over the place. CNN is on a story here with plants closing in Kokomo, Indiana, and a number of other places here. I'm just
this is not good.
Through it. No, it's not.
Well, thanks, Dick, for giving us a heads up on that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dick, thank you for that. A little bit later on here, we're expecting Amy Horak. She'll be here with the horticultural report from David J. Frank.
Yeah,
Sam?
you were doing yard work over the weekend or gardening?
I was doing, I cleared out a whole side of the yard there and getting ready to, I need to know what to put in there.
John, has your entire sack of grass seed, has any of that started growing yet?
How's that been working?
Nope, it got washed away with one of the strong
we knew
rains.
It.
Really?
She told us that would happen.
I know, and it happened. I didn't think it would. I was taking my chances, and I lost that one. I do want to mention this, though. This is devastating news. Tariffs could increase the price of coffee.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Throughout the entire Madison area, this is not good. Local roasters and shop owners are also concerned the tariffs could impact the coffee industry, from higher prices for raw green coffee to the menu prices.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I'll tell you.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Coffee. Right over here.
This way.
Boy, we should.
Hey, does anybody want coffee?
Yes.
Who wants coffee? I just made a fresh
We sure want coffee. We're not going to be able to get it soon, though.
I know
Who wants coffee? Does anybody want coffee? Who wants coffee?
How expensive is it?
Well, I've noticed in some of the restaurants.
I think he's scalping as well.
Well, some of the menu prices are already jumping up
Yeah.
quite a bit. But, what are they going to do?
First for eggs, now for coffee.
Yeah.
Have either of you been to a restaurant where you had to like pay a surcharge for some kind of egg dish?
Surcharge?
No.
Or like I heard that some places were doing that where you had to pay extra if you were getting like
during
an
the
omelet
shortage
or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the bird flu, it wasn't the president's fault. It wasn't Trump's fault. It wasn't anybody's fault.
No,
except for the bird flu. And I mean, of
What are you
course,
gonna do
we're going to
about that?
blame Trump because he would have done the same for Biden. So we blame him for the high egg prices.
Yeah.
But what goes around comes around, my friend. Laura Salinger Johnson, co-owner of JBC Coffee Roasters, says everybody's going to be impacted in some way, whether it be the coffee drinker whose coffee is going to be more expensive or the coffee grower who is already fighting to sell coffee at a higher price just so they get paid better. So it affects everybody, those free market coffee roasters as well.
Well, these tariffs are going to start really impacting.
Fair market.
Are really going to start impacting things in the next couple of weeks. They're saying the supply chains are, we can tell prices are going to start jumping. So
there's also something, earlier story, I didn't mention this, but they're making all these cuts throughout the government. And a lot of those cuts were rescinded by the courts. And a lot of people got their jobs back. But the big cut is coming this summer because all these government employees were offered buyouts. And a lot of the employees took the buyouts.
Yeah.
So if in fact the courts stop these people from being fired and we go with the buyouts, we're still going to lose a heck of a lot of people in the government who make it run smoothly for all of us out here in the hinterland. So that's the big thing that's going to hit in summer, and that will have a major impact on a lot of things that we take for granted.
Yeah, a lot of these things that Trump has been doing, it's all delayed effect. We haven't really seen the biggest impacts yet. They're really just, except for the stock market, which is all over the place.
I mean, the thing here is, they're getting rid of so many checks and balances. We have a free market kind of system, which really isn't a free market kind of system. They say it is. But we do have these administrative office buildings that oversee what's going on in their particular industry. And without them overseeing it, without them making sure that businesses toe the line from what government has demanded of them to do, then they could do anything they want. They can rip people off. I guess we're getting rid of the idea of examining chicken for salmonella.
Right.
We're
loosening regulations on that. And
there is no bottom now to that.
Well, and
if it has salmonella, fine, just send it out there. We don't care.
Well, and what about milk inspection, dairy products?
Yes, the dairy. Yes,
loosening restrictions on inspections of that.
Exactly. So you can't tell me that's not going to have a major effect somewhere down the line, right? Oh man, I tell you.
Let's see here. We've got.
Here's the story right here.
Okay.
USDA will not require poultry companies to limit salmonella in their products.
Okay.
That sounds worse than what I was describing.
It's even,
It's halting the Biden administration's effort to reduce food poisoning from contaminated meat. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh my God.
Maybe Trump will eat some of that salmonella contaminated meat.
All right, I'll tell you what, I've got something here. Fareed Zakaria had an interesting comment about the national emergencies that Trump has put into place. And we were talking about that. That's why they're scooping up all the immigrants out here.
Right. Just
doing whatever they want because there's a national emergency. Let's listen to this. This is cut 258.
Reset. He called it a national emergency. Similar. And now for the last look. This month, when President Donald Trump imposed tariffs on the world, he didn't just frame it as a smart economic reset, he called it a national emergency. Similarly, in January, Trump sought funding for securing the southern border by declaring a national emergency. And for a way to boost fossil fuel production, you guessed it, a national energy emergency. So far, Trump has declared 8 national emergencies in his first 100 days. More than any other president. That's according to the Brennan Center for Justice. The reason for this is clear. Invoking an emergency has come to mean that the president can bypass Congress, intimidate courts, and run roughshod over normal procedures, even civil liberties. Unlike many other countries, the U.S. Constitution says nothing about how to declare or end an emergency. This has allowed presidents to organically assume a wide range of powers. This usually happened during wartime. As Deborah Pearlstein, the director of Princeton's program in law and public policy, told GPS, these statutes were lying around like loaded weapons for a president who was not acting in good faith to use them. And in his second term, Donald Trump is pushing the boundaries of presidential power in a way that is well beyond what the Constitution envisioned. And yet, despite a distinct danger of creating a super presidency that would undermine America's democratic system, Congress and the courts have been largely acquiescent. When they wake up, it might be too late.
Well, that's
whoa. Okay.
I wanted to bring everybody down this morning.
Well, you certainly did.
We were having too much fun.
Boy. Yeah. A little reality there. Check there.
Yeah, reality check. Fareed Zakaria. And another comment. Every once in a while, he comes out with some pretty good ones, you know.
It is 7:47. This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing that remains constant since they opened the doors in 1958. They are still direct to consumer and provide superior products at unbeatable prices. Check them out on Madison's east side or west side. Or go to Verlo.com and check out their lifetime comfort guarantee. Have you signed up for the WMDX newsletter yet? You can go to WMDXradio.com, sign up for the newsletter, find out all what's going on behind the scenes and lots of events happening around Madison. Comes out every Thursday, goes right to your email.
We'll keep you up to date on the WMDX weather window.
There you
go. And the progress we're making with that.
I'm sure there'll be a
marketing.
Yes, that'll be part of the next newsletter.
Gordy, what happens to us if we don't reach our quota for WMDX newsletter signups? What are they going to do to us?
I don't know.
Are they going to throw us in jail? Are they going to deport us to El Salvador?
Nobody told me.
No one.
Lord,
no one warned us.
Okay.
All right.
Go to WMDXradio.com. You'll find out.
You know, one of the interesting things is that Trump never goes by polls. He
doesn't
believe in polls, and because he's the king, he's the authoritarian.
He doesn't care.
It doesn't matter what the polls say.
Right.
Let's listen to AG Secretary Brooke Rollins, who is a major ass kisser herself. She can't tell the truth if it kills her. Let's listen to what she had to say about those damn polls. Let's listen. 259. You got 259 up there? Now he does.
Here we go.
Thank you, Sam.
I think the first and most important thing that is really relevant to today is this president has never, ever governed by poll. He's never worried about this poll yesterday or that poll tomorrow.
We've got the highest poll numbers that I've ever had and that any Republican president has ever had. I have today the highest poll numbers I've ever had.
He doesn't care.
I have today the highest poll numbers of any Republican president ever. Our approval rating is now the highest ever across all.
I goofed on the time. We're off the air.
What?
We are?
Yeah. I cannot see or something. Jeez Louise. Man. Yeah, we went off like when I started playing that.
40, 49.
We're off at 49.
49 is the break. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking 50.
You what? Oh.
I woke up and I was like, I need to go now. Sorry.
I know, it's shocking. I know. I feel like that every morning. So, wait, I have to do a morning show. But how much time we have there?
1 minute.
Okay.
Can you get it? All right. Get real close to that mic. Pull it right.
Yeah.
Right close to you.
Hello. Sound good to yourself?
I guess.
Nah, you get why headphone like the volume is fine.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
I'm not going deaf. I can still hear.
Anything in particular you want to get to today? Focus on.
What should we talk about?
Well, it's going to be shorter, so you know.
That's okay. Pre-emergence. So putting pre-emergent fertilizers down that helps
Okay.
with weed control.
Okay.
Starting lawn fertilizations at this point.
Even closer.
This way. Okay.
Yeah,
A lot
right.
closer.
Yep.
All right, that
There you
sounds
go.
good.
There you
Okay.
go.
10 seconds or so.
Okay.
WMDX. John and Gordy in
What
the
is this
morning.
music?
No, this is plant music. You
Plant
yes,
music?
Plant.
This is the I told you guys before, this is the lead track off of an album of music written for plants.
That's right. Plants actually, if they're listening to this, they're going to like it a lot.
Yeah, they're going to grow better.
And I just want to mention to everybody that we'll get to the polls that Trump doesn't pay attention to tomorrow.
Okay.
Very important story.
It is 7:53 and 55 degrees now. Maybe some storms late today and definitely tonight. Looks like we're going to get some very stormy weather.
Time to get those pre-emergence down.
Well, there you go. And Amy Horak joins us now from David J. Frank with the Horticultural Report. Good to see you again, Amy.
Man.
Good to see you guys today. How are you doing?
Good.
We're doing
good.
okay.
So it is the pre-emergent time, isn't it?
It is definitely time for pre-emergence. So that is going to, a pre-emergent helps protect from weeds coming up before they emerge. So hence the pre-emergent name. Putting it down at this time, usually before a rain is usually ideal. Otherwise, you'd usually have to water them into the soil so that the chemicals can start working and the plants can take them up. But that would be a really good thing to consider doing right now in the month of April and into early May.
Okay.
So tell your boss you're leaving a little early today to get that pre-emergent out before it rains.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
the way
a
to do
lawn.
it.
Come on.
Now, what about, is there anything else we should be aware of this time of year as we're getting into the heart of spring and warmer weather?
Yeah, so you can, along with pre-emergent, some of them are also like a fertilizer. So you can apply it to the entirety of the lawn, not just like to your gardening beds to help do weed control. So you can do that. And you can also start lawn herbicide applications as well if you want to start spot treating. I've definitely already noticed in a couple different lawns and just even at home, the large thistle plants that come up. So those are really great to step on. Not really. So if you have pets or children in the yard, maybe going around and just scouting those types of things out, maybe doing some preventative weed removal of that nature. A lot of dandelions already coming up as well.
Yeah.
Some people love them. Some people hate them.
Yeah,
So
what's the deal? What should we think about this? Because there are some people do love them.
There are some extremes to that. Some people it's the worst nuisance they've ever seen in their life, and other people, it's like, well, it's just a cute little flower. So I feel like it's kind of up to you. I mean, if you really want to go with the natural look, leave them alone. They're one of the first things that do pop up in the season, and bees and pollinators. That's a good early food source for them.
Yes.
Some people, it's Wisconsin, it's a brewing state, so there are people that make dandelion wine.
Sure.
So there's a lot of uses for them if you don't like them, but still want to use them in a different nature instead of spraying chemicals onto them. You have some options. If you have children, dandelion crowns, you learn how to make them. They're fun for kids. So.
Oh yes. It's not like dandelions don't fertilize and seed other people's lawns or anything like that.
That's the other thing. So if you don't want them spreading.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to be a good neighbor and ask your neighbors, hey, are you already paying money to take care of your lawn and not have dandelions? Maybe try to figure that out. But
or maybe have your neighbor pay for your dandelion.
Or that too.
There you go.
Okay.
Hey, that's an idea.
It's a weird area to kind of navigate, but
yeah,
leave or stay. I mean, it depends if you want that perfect green lawn or if you don't
Mm-hmm.
mind a couple little spots of flowers.
Let me ask you something here. We're talking about herbicides, but what about bugs?
Bugs, yeah, I don't want to scare people, but I've already seen mosquitoes out and about with this wet weather and this warmth we've gotten. So
seems early for that.
yeah, it's early, but as soon as those temperatures hit the right thresholds, those bugs are going.
Yeah.
So definitely do some insect scouting. You can, if you notice insects that are already starting to cluster, like things like tent caterpillars, that might be a little too early for them, but just noticing if there's feeding on any of the new leaves on your plants, definitely getting ahead of the game instead of just reacting to it once the problem is really bad, because once they're there, it's going to be more of an uphill battle. But
So do a little insect monitoring. Is that?
Yep, monitoring. So
Yeah.
kind of looking if there's nests, if you see really small, just looking at your plants, and if you start seeing bugs on there, I know you can use some different like online resources like Google. If you have like the image search, you can kind of hold it up to the insect, snap a picture, and it can sometimes pull up like a pull up online what that bug just might be. So then you can more accurately treat for it and prevent for it.
John's getting on his phone right now looking
Yeah,
for.
but
Do you have an insect monitor thing?
I don't have an insect monitor.
Well, you came over to my house.
I
and
came to your house yesterday.
He was trying to identify this one bush in my house. And he pulls out his phone.
It
Did
was
you ever?
like, it was like dead, and it only had a couple of blooms or leaves, and I thought it would identify with it, but it actually didn't identify what kind of
some
plant
sort
it
of
was.
unknown plant.
Yeah, it was some kind of
bush
alien
thing.
plant that came from outer space, and it's there. It's called Flora. Let's see what. Flora incognita.
Really?
No, it's
that
Flora
sounds like
incognita.
a fake name.
An incognito flower. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like an unknown plant.
Yeah.
See, it says my observations. It has little flowers
Really?
that you press,
Okay.
and then it
Well,
scans.
that doesn't look
it
like
scans the flower
Okay.
or the leaf, and it tells you what it is. But we couldn't identify the
Yeah.
weird plant that Gordy has at his house.
I didn't put it there. It was there when I moved in. I don't know what it is, but it's
I
all
think it's
bushy and
scary.
out of control.
Sounds like the plot to Little Shop of Horrors. You're not
Okay.
feeding it meat, are you, Gordy?
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
they do make blood meal fertilizer, which is from the slaughterhouses. It's
Blood-
really high
what?
in nitrogen,
Oh,
but
yes.
it is a type of organic fertilizer that
Okay.
is animal based, and it's just another way to get rid of.
Is it
that
in
stuff.
powder form or?
Yep, it'd
Oh,
be
it
a
is.
powder.
Well, Amy, we're just about out of time, but we appreciate you coming in with the horticulture report. If people want to find out more, they can go to a website.
DavidJFrank.com.
Yeah, very good, Amy. Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Thank you, guys.
Tomorrow on the show, we're going to be talking with Abigail Sweats from Fair, Wisconsin, and we'll have a whole lot more.
Oh,
tomorrow.
we've got so much
Oh,
more.
too
You wouldn't
much. I
believe it.
can't even go there. Okay, Stephanie Miller is coming up next. We hope you have a wonderful day, and watch out for the weather. We'll keep you updated.
See you later.
So long.
As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.